All right. So we're going to get into the video here, family. Now, I have, took a break from financial information for quite a while here, but I'm going to get back on the grind and give you the information to set yourself apart and get your finances in order. So I won't be doing as many videos with financial literacy and financial information or fiscal responsibility or handling your business, however you want to label it, however you want to cover it. But first and foremost, I want to go through the Twitter files. uh, Twitter is beginning to be like Facebook a little bit. Videos, sound clips, people posting things on their particular profile and wall. So to me, Twitter is slowly becoming like Facebook. Okay, it's slowly becoming like Facebook. It has some inputs of Clubhouse because they have the Twitter rooms. I forgot what they call it, family, but you can go on Twitter and set up rooms and have verbal conversations and dialogue like you can on Clubhouse. But nonetheless, let's get into the Twitter files very quickly before we get into the financial information. This is what Joe Biden put out, and this is posted by Juicy Genius. She states, impeach Biden now. And Satan Sandwich, family, I don't know who that is. I don't even know why they put that name up there. But anyway, here's a reason I'm a former Democrat and will be voting Republican for as long as Dems push this toxic ideology. Let's be clear, transgender equality is the civil rights issue of our time. There is no room for compromise when it comes to basic human rights. I have no fight against the equal rights of transgender, but Black people are still being killed with impunity and with immunity, and not just by the police, by all sorts of white supremacists and those who support the system. So I'm just going to leave that where it lies. Now, this right here, family, I can't agree more. This is Marcel Dixon. He states that I will write legislation to mandate upon the birth of a child DNA test for the mother and the father at no cost to either parent. This is terrible. Yes, he would be using tax dollars, which should be used for something like this. That's just my opinion on the matter. And yes, there should be a DNA test done regardless of what the parents think. I know some of you guys are going to say that's big government reaching their hand down, but do you know how many cases, family? I didn't pop up the statistics because this is not the meat and potatoes of the video, but do you know how many men and women who have been paying child support, who have been wrongfully incarcerated behind a child that is not theirs? That's the problem, family. That's the problem.
Sir, you claim you spent 5 years in prison for failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan.
That's right.
Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison.
What would that do to someone? He spent 5 years in prison for failure to pay child support, and the child wasn't his. How do you get 5 years back of your life? And here's another thing, family. This country sometimes reminds me of a criminal justice system, right? That there's no justice, just criminals. Meaning, though, you can't afford to pay child support. So instead of mandating you or even giving you a job, how about that? Give you a job. That way you can pay your child support. They just incarcerate you. Now, I know there's many stories out there of people avoiding child support but not getting a job, but maybe he didn't have enough money to pay child support. But again, the child wasn't his. So I do support DNA tests on every child that is born in the United States of America. So this doesn't happen to any other men or any other women this has happened to. But I'm pretty sure the women know who the fathers are, unless something, of course, heinous occurred to her and you guys know what I'm referring to. But other than that, if it was consensual, yeah. Now, on a lighter note, I think that we should all invite our friends to parties and gatherings, and so they can have a good time like us. Man, hold on. Good people, good people. I want you to look at the majority of the crowd that's sitting down. They're really melanated, okay? I want you, these are a bunch of Black Americans right here. And I think it's her husband who is taping her, and he's having a time of his life. He's like, she got 2 left feet and 2 right arms. One again. Cutting the rug. No. The people are looking around like, what is going on? Because they're just laughing. And you know, you ever heard the term, are people laughing with you or at you? I'm going to make you guys to have that determination. You guys need a little joy in your job today. Slow motion zombie twerk. That's a slow motion zombie twerk. Look at this family. It's 95% Black people here. I think she was the halftime entertainment, but nonetheless looked like they had a really good time. I know the people watching did, because I would have been, oh my gosh. And family, one more thing. Let me just, the theatrics in politics is just getting out of hand, because I must show you guys this video. I must show you guys this video. This video is based upon Asian hate, okay? Asian hate. Let me show you very quickly.
那个妮妮婆，
家里面2个呀。
啊，你的手讲全了，
还行吗？
我不会脱啊。
哎呀，那个多绿种没有剥下去啊？
太浪费了。
哦，
救命！
多绿。等一下。
Asian misogynist. They hitting in her face. Why are you pouring cups of urine on a woman? I mean, what is going on? She just standing there too.
等下后面打的人打另一边了。
Family, I have no idea what's going on. And all of them are Asian, by the way. And supposedly they're throwing urine on her. But anyway, I don't have a dog in the fight. So I'm going to move on. So the United States debt ceiling is at $31.5 trillion. And debt per citizen is $94,000. So essentially dividing our population, which is roughly around 335 million. Supposedly each one of us has an amount debt of $94,000, and debt per taxpayer is $246,000, which is essentially $250,000. Okay. Now, what I like about the U.S. debt clock, it is getting the information from the U.S. Census. And if you hover over these perspective sections here, it will give you a definition or explanation of what that actually is. Okay. So when we look at the debt per taxpayer, it says the debt per taxpayer equals the national debt divided by the number of U.S. taxpayers. Kind of vague nonetheless, because what basically is stating is that everybody in the U.S. don't pay taxes. Shout out goes out to Donald Trump, because in the past 5 years, who knows, he paid like $1,000 and he's quote unquote a billionaire. Okay. But anyway, I just wanted to show you the debt clock here so you understand the amount of debt that the U.S. have accumulated. How does this correlate with you guys investing where the investors are in order to continue to make money, even in a down market, even while inflation is up? Okay. The car market is up because of semiconductors, quote unquote, microchips. The real estate market is up. It's hard for anyone to essentially buy an affordable house. The pandemic, and then developers and real estate investors come in, they buy the homes, they rehab them, and they make 200 to 300% off of them, right? But the major problem in this space are not the individual real estate investors who go in and buy a property here, a property there. No, it's the million and billion dollar investors that's raising the amount of home costs in America. The U.S. debt ceiling is a great tool for you to understand how the economics in America works and essentially which is causing each and every sector of America. I mean, it displays the entire thing for you in order for you to comb through where the true problems are. But we're not going to get into that just yet. Now, we understand there is a massive layoff in the job markets. It really concentrated in the tech markets, and we're just going to run down these names very quickly, and hopefully one of your organizations and businesses are not on here, but just know that there's a lot of massive layoffs, and these are in the thousands. Okay, these are in the thousands. You have companies like Yahoo, Disney, okay, Affirm. I'm not too familiar with this company, but I have heard of it. GoDaddy, they also build websites. Zoom, we're very familiar with Zoom, and 15% of their staff. Let's see if we can find any hard numbers here. 15% of their staff, they don't. eBay, 500 jobs. Dell, 5% of their workforce. I know we're going pretty fast here. Pinterest, 150 jobs. Rivian is that electric car company that also makes a pickup truck and an SUV, the Rivian R1T, I believe. Okay, they're already laying off people. They haven't even been in mass production of their vehicle yet, but they're already laying off 6% of the jobs that they have. BDG Media, 8% of their staff. Splunk, 325 jobs. Intel, 343 jobs. FedEx. Now, my son works for FedEx. Okay, what occurred right after the peak season, meaning the holiday season, December, they reduced his hours. And now they're starting to lay off people, okay? Because I guess that now that the holiday season is out, one of their major contracts is held with Amazon. So when the market is up, prices are up, inflation is up, cost of living is up, home cost is up, guess what people tend not to do? Spend as much as they used to, because America is a huge consumer market. Products from all over the world come to America because they know America and Americans will buy it. Like if you just look at the surrounding area that you are now and you picked it up, even my huge water bottle here, made in China. A majority of things are made in China. And I do this every time. Let's see what this is made at. This is a Razer mouse that I have here. This is made in Thailand. So again, we're huge consumers. PayPal, 7% of their workforce. HubSpot, IBM, Hasbro, the Dow, 2,000 employees. 2,000 employees. Don't forget about Boeing. I've named a lot. Google, Amazon, SAP, up to 3,000 positions are gone. Spotify, 6% of their workforce. 3M, 2,500 jobs. Google, 12,000 employees will be without jobs. Now, granted, I believe Google headquarters is in California. Family. By letting go 12,000 employees at Google is like freeing up $2 billion, because a lot of these tech guys and IT personnel, they were making hundreds and thousands of dollars in IT. But now, because of RPA, robotic process automation, and plain old just process automation, are wiping away jobs, robots, chat bots. What else? What do you call those? I'm just going to say bots to kind of cover that whole area. Are literally deleting jobs, and a lot of these companies are retaining a lot of their revenue because they don't have to pay people, because robots and automation don't get tired. They don't get sick. They don't get pregnant. They don't get hurt. Their kids don't need to take a day off for their recital. They don't need to do any of those things. So that's why a lot of these jobs are being cut. You got Vox Media, Capital One, more than 1,100 tech workers. See, what you haven't seen, if you are part of the what you call it, the call center, they're not really laying off jobs because people are still calling in, essentially. I'm pretty sure there are some jobs that are being wiped away, but a lot of the tech workers and the IT personnel, that is because companies are moving to RPA, automation, and bots, where things are being automatically done when you call in, when you send a letter, when you submit a form online. These things are being done automatically, and we no longer need you tech workers in order to do these things. Guess what else this market is doing when it comes to automation and RPA? They have AI, artificial intelligence now, that are literally correcting errors that people used to correct, right? Maybe there's an error on the company website and it has to be an IT worker that goes and fix it. Well, the AI knows the code that they're using. It goes and fixes the code itself. I don't need you anymore. So they're laying off people, okay? This is kind of give you a better breakdown. WeWork, 300 jobs. Wayfair, 1,000 employees. Okay. Microsoft, 10,000 workers. Now, majority of companies use Microsoft products. There are some companies that use Google products, but for the most part, Microsoft has had a monopoly when it comes to business. So is the industry no longer using Microsoft, or has Microsoft started to use automation, bots, and AI? The latter of the two, family. The latter of the two. They're using AI, they're using they're using bots, and they're using automation. The people who used to do those manual jobs no longer need to do them. Thus, we no longer need you. See, I recall a couple of years ago, maybe even last year or the year before last, people, even myself, telling people, go into IT, get your certs, get this, get that, get this, get that. And you really have to know how the market is moving, because technology is moving at a really high rate, where essentially it may just be the CEO and a few tech engineers, right? Because someone has to drive the AI, someone has to drive the bots, meaning that when these things break down, essentially like a car, it needs someone to fix them, because eventually they will break down, okay? Because they're man-made, they'll eventually break down and need somebody to fix it. The only problem I see, family, is when this technology gets too smart, where it never breaks down, or when it does break down, it fixes itself. That's why trades are on an uprise, because they haven't had no robots or no computer software to come inside your house and fix your plumbing, fix your electricity. Okay. Let me move on. Crypto.com, 20% of its staff. Now, did I invest in Crypto.com? Yeah, my portfolio is horrible. We're going to look at that as well. Okay. BlackRock up to 3%. And then BlackRock is a very wealthy organization. Okay. A huge conglomerate, but they're cutting around 500 jobs. Goldman Sachs, 6.5% of its global workforce, they're laying off. Okay. They're laying off. BNY Mellon, 1,500 jobs. Was he verily part of Alphabet? That means part of Google. 15% of his workers. Wow. DirecTV, 10% of management staff. Yeah, we need the workers, but we don't need you guys in the head shed just sending emails to each other. hitting people on Microsoft Teams or Zoom chat. No, we're going to get rid of you guys. We don't need you guys anymore. Okay. Coinbase, 900. Oh, that's what it was. I invested in Coinbase. 950 workers. Amazon, 18,000 employees are being laid off. I'm just going to go a little more into this one, okay? Because I really want to see where they're laying off the people. It says, while most of Amazon's 1.5 million staff has warehouse jobs, the layoffs concentrated in Amazon's corporate groups. 18,000 jobs. What I tell you, family, those people who are in car centers and warehouses, yeah. They may get their hours reduced, but they're not getting laid off. The people who are in the head shed, who's in corporate, who's in management, these are the ones that are getting laid off. I heard they're down to a 1-to-3 ratio, meaning one manager is taking up the jobs of 2 other managers. Salesforce, 10% of its staff. Everlane, 17% of its staff. And it states here, the corporate employees, meaning people who are at the head and running the company, okay, because they always need the workers. Venmo, 11% of its workforce. Compass, okay, Stitch Fitch, and that's it. So there's a lot going on in the global job market, especially here in America. But investing is very important. And I've been pushing investment for a very long time. That was the premise. That was the foundation of this channel initially, of investing and saving and budgeting your money. And it's still important as it is when I first started this channel. Nothing has changed, family. Money will always be the number one driver in your life, regardless if you like it or not. Oh, I don't need a lot of money to survive, but you need money, especially if you're living in the modern world. You need money. Here's my portfolio. Now, if you notice, all time I'm down $9,000. And for a lot of you who've been rocking with me for years, you know that I'm usually up. But family, this is a great indicator that the market is not doing as good as it did, a couple of years back. Because at one point, my portfolio was at $55,000. And you're looking at $20,000. But I would like to tell you, let's subtract $10,000 from this amount right here. Because I took out $10,000 to invest in an option with Tesla. Okay. It was a long-term option. I invested around 10 grand and I lost 10 grand. And I know some of you investors out there and stated because you did not cover your options, because I didn't have enough money to cover my options, but I had enough money to buy an option with Tesla. But again, money is fluid. Money is a living entity in our lives and as well as in the market. Okay. So I'm down throughout my whole portfolio 30%. Now, when it comes to the past month, I am up around $2,000. The past week, I'm up around $138. And today I'm up $283. Now, just to kind of let you guys know, the $10,000 that I lost, that takes it down to around $45,000. I took out probably another $10,000 to do some home improvements around the house. So as we're looking at my portfolio, those losses are me withdrawing money as well. Okay. So let's get into some of the money here, family, because Robinhood is a decent tool. It's not one of the best investment tools, but for novice and beginning and some intermediate investing, this is a good tool for you guys to look at. Okay. And if you guys want to be a Robinhood investor and use this platform, I have a link in the description below. Now, daily movers, right? Daily movers. Now, the reason why I like daily movers, because it gives you a quick glance at some stocks that you can go into and make some quick cash. Now, this is not gambling. I know that sounds kind of risky, but what I'm stating is you can kind of look at the daily movers. Whether these are in the red or in the green, moving up or moving down. This is where, for you guys who know how to option trade and those who are interested in option trading, where you can go in like a stock like the Sonoma AG, I just call it AG for short. you can go in and buy an easy option with 100 shares and watch how that stock moves throughout the entire day, because day investors does this all the time. I'm not stating they come here and look at, daily movers. They use platforms like Think or Swim, and which gives you more analytics. It gives you a more detailed RSI, the relative strength index, so you can make a more calculated investment. Okay, so there's many tools out there. That's just one of them, Think or Swim. But when it comes to this, family, if you're not investing your money, then that means that your money is being stagnant. Now, a buddy of mine, I'm not going to give a lot of his information away, but I will show you his Instagram page. He left a job that was paying, I won't say where he worked, but he left a job that was paying over $400,000 a year. $400,000 a year. Now, he's a real estate investor, but the key word today, family, is investing. Okay. But he had a very, very powerful message that I have to show you guys, and you guys should definitely take heed to what he's saying and listen in.
Hey, what up, go? Garage Talk. Hey, I hope I'm going to say this for the last time. I told people a long time ago, I said, you don't want to keep money in the bank, because when you keep money in the bank, your money is not moving. Banks take advantage of you because they take your money and then they loan it out to other people, and they always have the money flowing. And so when people call me and they want to borrow money, I say, I don't have it. They said, well, what do you mean you don't have it? I said, well, because my money's in the street. It's always moving. Money has to fucking move in order for it to do something. Just like if you go into the wilderness, you never want to drink water from a stream if it's not moving. You only want to drink water from money that's flowing. That's why money is called the cash flow. The ancient people understood this shit, and they always looked at money as though money was water, because money is water. That's why it's called the cash flow. That's why it's called the liquid asset. You go to a club, you make it rain. Making it rain is water. And that's why they say, money goes through your fingers like water. Of course, because it is water. You go to jail, people have to bail you out. Bailing you out is taking the water out. It's moving the water. Money has to always flow. Don't sit on fucking money, put it out in the street and make it move and make it work for you. The economy, the whole nine, money has to always flow. So don't just sit back and just look at the fucking money, put that shit out in the street and let it move for you. Let it cash flow. Simple shit.
I just thought that was a very powerful message. I mean, he said it a lot better than I could ever say it. But like I told you before, money is a living entity, and it has to move. It has to flow, and you need to be investing your money. However that may be. I know a lot of you probably have some jobs where you are setting aside and allocating a certain percentage of your money into your 401k, but you need multiple investments. Multiple investments. And the reason why I say that, because investing is not a sure thing, is that it's been proven over time that if you invest, you will compound the amount of money that you've put in over the course of time. But right now we're in a market correction. Of course, I've stated that we've been in a recession. We have high inflation. There's a lot of things going on in the global markets, but nonetheless, there's things that I've told you before that can essentially be your foundation of your portfolios, whether it be your 401k, your individual investments, real estate investment, hard money lender, whatever you're doing with your cash. Maybe you are with Prosper and handing out high risk loans. But one of the sure ways that something can be the foundation of your portfolio and your assets is investing in bonds. Now, it states here that bonds are issued by the governments and corporations when they want to raise money. By buying a bond, you're giving the issuer a loan, meaning that you will be giving the government or the corporation a loan. Okay, that's why you go and buy a bond, and that bond needs 5, 10, 15, 20 years to mature. That way that the government can make their money back, so they can pay you, the loaner, the person who's issuing the loan to the government, back with interest. Okay, it states here you're giving the issuer a loan. They agree to pay you back the face value of the loan on a specific date and to pay you periodically interest payments along with the way, usually twice a year. Very important, family. Very important. Now, one of the places that you should go to buy your bonds. Of course, you can buy bonds on Robinhood, WeBull, Goldman Sachs, whatever investment platform you're already using, Fidelity. You guys can go and buy bonds. But the one sure place I like to go is treasurydirect.gov. Okay, it's a government website. You're buying your bonds directly from the federal government. And to be on the safe side, I would tell you only to buy government and corporate bonds. Do not buy junk bonds. There's going to be some places where you go and look for bonds, and they're going to be junk bonds. They're going to be, how can I state this? You're going to invest a certain amount of money, and they're going to promise a huge return on your investment, almost like it was an individual stock. No, bonds are usually anywhere from 1% to 5%. If a bond is telling you that it's going to give you back 10%, please do your research, family. Please. But I will pretty much advise you to stay within the confounds of government and corporate bonds. Now, because of the times that we're living in, and I've said this many, many times before, even before the current recession, when you go to treasurydirect.gov, you come over to the Treasury marketable securities, and you come down to tips. Treasury inflation protected securities, okay? It says we sell tips for a term of 5, 10, and 30 years. As the name implies, tips are set up to protect you against inflation. Unlike other Treasury securities where the principal is fixed, the principal of a tip can go up or down over its term. It's almost kind of like an ARM, adjustable rate mortgage, because it kind of goes up and down, but nonetheless, it goes up and down according to the market. When the tips mature, if the principal is higher than the original amount, you get the increased amount. If the principal is equal to or lower than the original amount, you get the original amount. Tips pay a fixed rate of interest every 6 months until they mature, because we pay interest on the adjustable principal. The amount of interest payment also varies, okay? So they have a breakdown of what tips include, tips at a glance. You can actually buy a tip bond for only $100, increments of 100, and then the maximum purchase is $10 million. Yeah, not doing that one. Not giving the American government $10 million, even if I had it, okay? So let me see what some of you guys are stating here. I see we got Jay the Informant in the room. We got Jermaine Anderson, B1 to you family. Thank you for moderating, sir. Let's see. We also have a lot of messages here. Okay. Jay the Informant says, did you hear about the Subway sandwich? No, I haven't heard about the Subway sandwich. Okay. Let's see what else. It says the private company might be selling to JP Morgan and Chase. It turned to JP Morgan will go public, and I'm looking at that stock on the opening. Okay. That's a good stock note, okay? Because if that does go public, I wonder what the bid price is going to be, the initial price coming out. I wonder what the IPO price is going to be. That's what I'm wondering right now. Now, we also talked about the debt ceiling, or the amount of the U.S. debt at $31.5 trillion. And we talked about how America, Japan, and other countries are monetary sovereigns, did we not? And I kind of just looked this up very quickly, the federalreserve.gov, and I found this. I just thought this would be intriguing, not so much what they're stating, but the title, Global Monetary and Sovereign Markets. But anyway, it states here, does the U.S. have monetary sovereignty? It says currently, nations such as the USA and Japan, which have autonomous central banks, exercise money sovereignty. What makes a country monetarily sovereign? It states the government is one that sets the monetary laws used in the nation. The government sets the domestic unit of account, and it uses the unit to issue debt instruments and unconvertible monetary instruments, as well as to record the imposition and payment of government dues. That's saying a lot of nothing to me. Monetary sovereignty includes essentially 3 exclusive rights for a given state. The right to issue currency, check, America does that. Coins and banknotes that are legal tender within its territory, Check. America does that. The right to determine and change the value of the currency. Check. America does that. It goes on and on and on. It says the U.S. monetary system is a decimal system with $1 equal to 100 cents. $1 is written as $1 or $1.00. There you have it, family. Not too much today. Just want to go over the importance of investing with a little bit of conjecture and buy and some other things thrown in. So hopefully you guys have a great and wonderful day. And I see you guys on the next one. Peace.